This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jeff Gardner.
Welcome to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have another two good neighbors on our show, Melanie Muirhead and Angie Flamino, with our Happy Place Adult Day program. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello.
Yeah, very happy to have you on the show. I know a little bit about your business, and I'm very interested to dive a little bit deeper into it. So I think that's a good place to start. Tell us about your business. What is our Happy Place?
Well, our Happy Place is an enrichment program for adults who have both physical and or neurological diversities. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were going to expand on that?
Well, yeah. So we're a day program. So it's a place they can go during the week, Monday to Friday. We run from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and they come and spend their days with us.
That's wonderful. And can you share with us, what does enrichment mean?
Well, we're enriching their lives. So we're giving them something meaningful to do with their life.
Mm-hmm. So opportunities to be social with their peers, get involved in the community, engage in various activities, social, recreational, life skills. So anything from baking, playing sports, doing arts, music, pretty much you name it. We're out there trying to do it and just have fun. Yeah, good times.
We do a lot of volunteering in the community with our members, and it gives them an opportunity to learn some skills that can hopefully be translated to job placements in the future.
Wonderful. I love that. I think it's so important. I've been hearing this this wording more often lately. We talk to entrepreneurs pretty much all day, and very privileged to be around so many experts, learning so many new things. But did you say neurological diversities?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
And there's still a lot of different preferred terms. According to our province, disability is still acceptable. We try to focus on our members' abilities. But, you can use disability, special needs, neurologically diverse, physically diverse. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's wide ranging, essentially.
Yeah. Well, because I guess just different people have different preferences.
Yeah, it's like everyone. We're all unique. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, some more apparent than others. So it's just we're all diverse, really.
That's true.
Need some extra support with some of their needs.
Beautiful. Well, I certainly have weaknesses, and support has been a major factor in my life. So I love that you guys have a program catered to that, to simply help people increase the quality of their life, whether you said through community, through sports, the camaraderie, the team building, challenges, different skill sets that can be transferred to the workforce. I think these things are so impactful in all generations, but I would argue that maybe more now today, is it seems like whatever we're doing, the ingredients that are out there that is making our experience what it is seems to be in some cases more isolating. It's easier to stay at home. When I was growing up, there was a hockey game going on the street every day, and that's what my parents explained to me as well. When they were growing up, their houses were unlocked. Friends then were just coming and going, whereas now we got gates in front of our house, especially where you guys are, where I am, York Region, or Newmarket.
Yeah. Our members can be very isolated too, because we're working with adults between the ages of 18 and 64. So there's a lot of different programs and supports out there for children, and there's a lot of programs and supports out there for seniors. Mm-hmm. But there's really not very much if you're between the ages of 18 and 64. And so sometimes these individuals are just completely isolated at home, not going anywhere, just with whoever their caregiver is. So this really gives an opportunity for them to socialize and not be isolated and not feel isolated. And it helps their families, because sometimes their caregivers are isolated too, because they're at home with them and they can't get out and do things. So we're hoping to increase the quality of life, not only for our members, but for their whole family, because it gives their family a break, so they can get out and do things and be social, they might still need to go to work, and they need to know that their adult child is in a safe place while they're out working. So yeah, it helps with the quality of life of the whole family, not just the individual member who's attending our program.
Yeah, I love that. We work with a cancer charity called Gilda's Club in Simcoe County, and a big part of their focus is to help people who have cancer, but a just as big, maybe even bigger, is about the caregivers of the people who have cancer, the family members that are often forgotten about, that they have this person in their family, they have this brutal diagnosis, and this is what they're living with now, and they're often forgotten of. And now that's just my life. I'm just taking care of this person. I'm working, thinking about my life isn't really in the cards anymore. My life is dedicated to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And a lot of us just chalk that up as our lot in life, but it doesn't have to be that way because of companies like you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's consuming, right? It really is. So yeah, we're hoping to give some of our caregivers a break. We have some clients that attend our program that are, getting nearly 40. So they have parents that are caring for them, and they're in their 70s, and they've been doing it a very long time, and they just really need a break.
Yeah, not to mention, I imagine, like if somebody came into my life right now and had this neurological diversity, I would just be winging it. Like I would just be trial and erroring it when there are experts out there that have the skill set, that have the infrastructure, the programming to take care of these people as much better than me, essentially. So not only is it weight off of my shoulder, but they're getting a better shot at having a better life because it's beyond my scope. It's beyond my expertise.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do encounter families who are just winging it, where their adult child has aged out of high school at 21. And then they're like, what's next? We don't know. We don't. And, there are resources, but it's kind of, if you don't know where to start to look, you're a little bit lost. So we're here to help with that too, to help kind of navigate the system and let them know what the resources are, where to find them, just what's out there for support.
Beautiful. I love it. So there's a few things that we really like talking about on the show. 2 questions in particular. This is one of them. We like to talk about the why. I'm 37 now. I have it tattooed on my arm to make sure I have these reminders in front of me, especially when I'm in those emotional tornadoes. Yeah. It's easy to perform at your best when things are going well. It's hard to perform at your best when things are a little chaotic. So why is such an important question to me? Why is it an important question to me? Because I think a lot of things we do, we just do. We're just automated in some cases. And if we don't have some, something to pause and interrupt that behavior and root ourselves into, why am I doing this? Now I have new information to better plan my trajectory going forward. So we really like to ask our guests, why did you come to create this? Like, what is the story behind this business?
So Angie and I decided to start our happy place because we found that there was a lack of services such as ours. So there might be some resources out there for families, but there isn't as many programs like this. And the ones that are full. A lot of them are waitlisted for several years. So we knew that there was a huge need in our community and surrounding area to have something like this. And we also felt like we could bring something more unique to the program. We have both worked in other day programs over the years as well. And we just thought we could do this better. So that's our goal, is to really just make it like the best better place for our members, for ourselves, a real happy place. It's not just our name. It's like who we are. It's our brand. It's what we believe in. We just want everyone to have a great time, come, be happy, feel safe, learn, be with each other. So, yeah.
I'll add to that a little bit too. Our why is pretty similar. I do have a special needs, neurologically diverse son. So I feel like I'm really passionate about it, that I can kind of, step into the shoes of a lot of the families we're dealing with, because I've dealt with it personally. I've actually been in healthcare for almost 20 years now. So I was in healthcare before I had a special needs son. However, over the years, I've worked at a lot of different places in healthcare. And kind of like Melanie touched on, some that weren't so great. So I'm really passionate about just making a great place. Like what it, it's not called Our Happy Place for nothing. We didn't just pick the name because it was cute. It's really what we want. We want it to be a happy place, not only for our members and our family, but for our staff too. We want our staff to be excited to come to work every day and for them to feel like it's a safe, warm, welcoming kind of place just to have a good time at. And we just spread the happiness.
Yeah.
I love it. It's as I was saying before, we talk to entrepreneurs all day, and it's such a common thread that I'll just give an example for myself. Like you were saying, Angie, I've been in outside of growing businesses. My other, I guess, main skill or main career would have been fitness. So I was a fitness trainer for a very long time. I was a coach of many different teams. But that's what it evolved into. What it started as if my health was out of alignment and I didn't know what I didn't know. So I went to coaches, experts, trainers to find out what I needed to find out to get myself right. I noticed this gap in me. And then through learning those skills, it was so rewarding working with them. They planted a lot of very valuable seeds. And then I thought, hey, let's take these skills and use them on other people to help them increase the quality of their lives. So Melanie, you were saying that you noticed a gap, and Angie, you have the personal experience. Mine is kind of one and the same. I noticed a gap in myself, and then had that personal experience as well. It's amazing how we take these things that were ideas or needs in our own lives, and then we create this organization out of it from a thought to a real thing.
Just paying it forward in the community.
Yeah. It's such a cool thing. I love that. Why it is a common thread, and I love that we are in a place that we can do that. We're in a country or an environment that we can take a thought, make it better than what it already is, and help impact a lot of people. I think it's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it's amazing, really, because, Melanie and I have been co-workers in the past, and we talked about doing this, but it was kind of just like, just a dream, like, oh, we should open our own place up. Let's do this. We could do a really great job of it. And it's like, holy cow, we did it. Yeah. And, just to be able to have, to be able to take advantage of all the opportunities and actually make things happen. It's great.
Yeah. It really is. How long has it been?
We just celebrated our year in October, so a year and 4 months, 5 months.
5 months, yeah.
Beautiful.
So it's still very new. We're
but it's just a great. I remember my first couple of years as an entrepreneur, and although they were messy for me, I look back on some of the most fulfilling times, really figuring it out, butting up against big problems that I didn't know how to solve in the moment, learning how to solve them and seeing the impact that it could have on people. Yeah. It's just this great thing, feeling that taking thoughts and then turning them into reality. Something I'm curious is how many people can be in one of your classes, or do you have multiple classes? What's the structure of the day like?
Okay. So, we have our max is 10 members a day. Mm-hmm. Typically they're pretty consistent. So some are full-time, some are part-time, but pretty much everyone comes 2 to 5 days a week, I guess. Mm-hmm. We're almost full now. We have a couple part-time spots available. 10 a day, pretty much the same group of people. It varies a little bit.
we like to be flexible, mm-hmm. And give families, because there is a cost involved. Mm-hmm. A lot of our families utilize passport funding, which is a provincial funding that the government gives to adults with what they refer to as disabilities. So a lot of our families utilize that. Some of our families don't know about it. Mm-hmm. So that's part of our job too, to let them know that there is this funding available that they can use to pay towards programs like ours. But everybody gets a different amount. So we like to make it affordable for everybody. So that's why we do offer part-time and full-time spaces, so we can be flexible to try and fit the needs of everybody, what their actual needs are, and their financial needs as well. So,
and some of them are involved in other community, some programs, some work placements, or their own personal interests. So yeah.
We've been doing really well, though, because we've had a lot of members come and say, oh, we'll just try it maybe one day a week. And so far, every single member that we've had come one day a week after just only a few weeks are going, okay, we want to come more. We want to come more. So it's been really nice feedback that they're really enjoying it and they want to come more.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing too much better than that when a guest or a client is saying, give me more of what you're offering. We know we're doing something right in that case. So well done. I'm really happy to hear that business is going well, especially after the first year. Happy anniversary, by the way.
Yeah.
So myths and misconceptions. That's another important one. Information is a big deal to me, wisdom, knowledge, however you want to define it. But I think that's how we evolve as species, is passing on accurate information to the people that are coming after us, that are not quite as far in the journey as us in many cases. So a lot of us have inaccurate information out there. They call the age that we're living in the information age. A lot of it is garbage. There is some great information out there, more accessible than we've ever found before, but still, there's a lot of people out there with inaccurate information about the things that we do. And if we could empower them with more accurate information, now they can make better decisions to really increase the quality of their life. So what would be some common myths and misconceptions about your industry in particular?
Okay, Melanie has what I'm trying
to think
of
one. And I feel like it's a big one, just about people with special needs, disabilities, or neurodiversities or physical diversities in any way. I think a lot of people would look at some of our members and think they don't have the capability to have skills, or that maybe they don't care to be social or can't gain skills. And that's just simply not true. They are very personable. A lot of them are very social, and absolutely can gain skills doing activities. It might not be to the same degree as the person beside them, but in their own way, they are engaging in activities. They are getting something from it internally, and they're liking being with their peers. So I feel like that's a big misconception of people around, looking at people with special needs, that they're not capable or not interested or just can't do things. And we see that they very much are. They have such great personalities,
and some of them have really interesting skill sets to be discovered.
Giving them opportunities, because I see it all the time. Still.
No, I love that you put it out there. All human beings have worth. It doesn't matter your lot in life, where you were born, your color, your gender, your creed. We all have worth. And if we have good people around us, there's this great quote that behind every excellent person is an excellent teacher. So in some way, we have to be taught by or if we're lucky enough to be taught by somebody great, no matter where you're from or the way you think, or what your body can do or what it's restricted to, we all have worth. And when you are in an environment of growth, like our happy place, you can really find out those skills, and that can change the minds of those, I don't want to call them non-believers. I just think they have inaccurate information and they're making some assumptions. Yeah. So I think that's great. I'm really happy you pointed that out.
Yeah, it's like we all need opportunities to be able to showcase our skills and have opportunities to learn and grow, like everyone does. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some members that are just the absolute most joyous individuals that I've ever met in my life. And just being around them makes you happy and gives you joy. So talk about the worth there.
And that the simplest things can make them so happy. Like in society, I feel like we get fixated on things and overstimulation. Obviously, technology is a big one. And our guys, and I say guys, our people, our members, find joy in really the simplest things. And it's just so nice to see that.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
And when you think about skills, I think that's where a lot of us that don't have these neurological diversities, and you said we're all diverse, but I think you understand my meaning, struggle with that, to find joy in these small things. And I think that's where a lot of joy is rooted, is not in the new car or the new home, but just walking in nature, just a conversation with a friend, petting a dog or a cat or whatever it is. And could you imagine if we all took a page out of that book a little bit and injected some joy in our life without these massively stimulating things or with these grand gestures, just hanging out with some people.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to steal that page. Outside of business, ladies, what do we get up to for fun? You guys are putting all your passion and tears and everything into this business.
We spend a lot of time on the business.
It's a lot of business. Yeah. I would say personally, I like to support live local music. I'm a big supporter of and really just arts in the community. I really like. So that's sort of, and because self-care is important, especially in our field. When you're a caregiver in any realm, whether it's home or in the workplace, when you're a caregiver, it's so important to have that time for yourself and, just relax and have your own time. So yeah, mine is definitely music, and I love to support local. So
yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Angie?
Melanie brings me along for the ride sometimes. She got me to a comedy show just recently, which was great.
Beautiful.
Music and laughing.
I wish I could support our local music scene a little bit more, but I have 4 children, so I'm very busy. So I'm often at home with the boys, 4 boys. So we do a lot of outdoor activities. Yeah, we're doing the biking and the fishing and the scootering and anything with the ing on that.
All the verbs.
Yeah, all the verbs.
And he's a caregiver at home and at work.
We like to be outside a lot, though. We like to do kayaking. We live near a river, so we get out on the water sometimes, and like a lot of outdoor activities for sure.
Beautiful. And would you say that is all you're spending your days, your work days, caring for other people? You're spending your time at home caring for other people. You get enough time for yourself, or is that caring for other people in a way its own version of self-care for you?
It definitely is to an extent, especially, not that I do it for the thanks, but it really is nice when every now and again you see that someone really appreciates what you do. And it just makes me feel so good and like it's all worth it. And yeah, it's really nice to see that. Or even just if maybe at work, I've been working with a member and we've been working on a skill for a long time. And then all of a sudden it clicks and they've done it and we've achieved something. And, that really makes it worth it. Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, it is. It's this amazing thing. I've been so lucky to speak to so many people throughout the years. And in our business, we have a large team that helps us run and do what we do. I'm just the face. They all do all the hard stuff behind me, but we call it catching fire. When somebody catches fire, you can see their eyes kind of open up. You can almost see their mind kind of expand. And it's one of the most rewarding things to see a human being start to recognize their own potential, their own self-worth.
I like that catching fire.
Yeah,
we might have to use that here now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know if we're just pre-wired for this biologically, what it is about so many human beings that love seeing things grow, but especially other human beings, seeing a house grow, seeing a plant grow, seeing your pet grow, all these things are important. And I think we get a lot of joy from, but seeing a person that you've actually impacted grow and starting to recognize their own self-worth, especially if they were struggling with that.
Yeah.
That is a very rewarding thing, which fills my cup up because like you, Angie, I spend most of my time caring over other people, probably too much, annoyingly so, they would say, probably.
I always say it's like a blessing and a curse to be so giving and just naturally being a caregiver. It's like it can be tough. It can be definitely, there's tough moments, but the reward is definitely so worth it. Yeah.
I've never found anything more fueling for me than attaching myself and being accountable to somebody else. Yeah, I think it's easy for us humans to let ourselves down. I think it's a lot harder for us to let other people down, especially when you're invested in their journey. It's a hell of an experience.
Yeah. Agreed.
So that's the fun stuff, which we love to talk about. We also love to talk about the hard stuff. So we really like to shine a light on the hard things for being a human being, simply because I find the vast majority of growth comes from discomfort. I've never really found myself growing as a human being from doing very comfortable things, easy things. If I took a math test for a grade 1 student, I wouldn't be growing. It would be very easy. Now, you could argue that there's some value in comfort as pleasure, just watching TV on the couch or sitting in the bath. There are some beneficial things. I just don't know that I'm becoming a more skillful, evolved person through that. So through the hard things that I've gone through, I look at them this way. They often suck in the moment. It's like you have to pay for pain up front for long-term benefit, whereas comfort is you get paid in pleasure up front and maybe some long-term diminishing results. So we really like to be a beacon for highlighting the hard things in life, because I think too many people still look at them as things they want to avoid. And I feel like that blockade in front of us that we don't want to face, that maybe we're fearful of, if you get over that or you break through it in some way, there is some type of reward intrinsically, financially, whatever the way, whatever the reward is on the other side can be extremely valuable. So we talk about our hardships on this show quite a bit. We like to shine a light on that. Is there any trials and tribulations, hardships that either of you have been through that when you went through it, you're like, this sucks? But when you look back on it, you say that is something, an ingredient that I would not remove from the recipe. That is me, because it's made me a better version of myself.
I feel like that's our life stories.
Well, let us tell you. How much time do we have?
We got time. Let's talk about it.
I have a friend who often will say about failure, and I'm failing. I feel like I failed. I said, I really don't believe in failure. And you might feel like in a moment, something's not, sort of like you said, like something's not working. It might feel like a fail, but really that's where growth comes from. And I absolutely feel like you learn from having moments like that might feel like a failure, but it's putting you on a different path, and you're learning from that, and you're leveling up all the time. Personally, I feel like I started off on the wrong foot just growing up. I grew up with not a lot of money. I dropped out of school a few times. I went back. I was a little bit of a late starter getting going. But I feel like once I got into this field, I really knew, like, this is my passion. This is who I am. I am a caregiver. I just went with that, and I felt like that's who I am. But definitely, and I'll let you speak for yourself, but we've definitely had a lot of struggle. We both now are not people that have money. We started this on a dime. We basically took our life savings to do this. And that being said, the struggle, even in the business sense, is that we are an underfunded or paid service. So we don't get government funding, but even the services like ours that are, like, there's no money in social services. So that's not the reward at all.
Money is definitely not the reward.
And it's like, even our members, like, they're not even funded properly. So it's like that. It's definitely a struggle in social services, in a financial aspect.
Yeah.
How about you, Angie? Anything come to mind?
You do. I really want to hear.
I'm not leaving you out of this.
No, it's actually really interesting, because when I started out on a very different path, I went to school, to college when I was 18 for a completely different field. Nothing even remotely. It was still in the.
She was a helper. Say it.
It was still, I went to school for firefighting, if you can believe that. That was a very
Me too. That's pretty interesting.
But I was still always interested in helping people. I wanted to do something that helped people. And anyways, that didn't work out for me. The whole my parents were right. The firefighting thing did not work out. Anyways, I ended up in healthcare. I started out working as a personal support worker. And again, I've always really enjoyed caring for people and helping others. I wasn't necessarily challenged, and I was getting a little bit bored and felt like I needed to do more. I kind of worked my way up a little bit. I was directing for another program similar to ours. which is where Melanie and I met. And, you know, I think the universe really aligned, and I was actually going through a divorce at the time. And things were pretty rough, you know, divorce, 4 children.
One of them was special.
One of them with special needs. I kind of was at a point where I didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do or how I was even going to just survive day-to-day life. And, you know, Melanie came along and we started talking, and we just came up with this great idea of, you know, we could do this together. And it just really happened for me at like the most, Melanie's going to cry. I know. I'm like at the most, like it happened at the most perfect time in my life. Like I was really, you know, starting a new chapter. And I don't think I could have ever done it alone. Open to this business, Melanie and I really like, we're very similar, but we also pick up where the other lacks. So we make a really great team. And yeah, as we started the business, we kind of had a bit of a struggle. We were going to open up in a different location, and due to some red tape, things kind of fell through at the last minute.
A week before we were opening.
Yeah.
So we found our location like last minute.
Like we got the location last minute, opened it up, loaded up all the furniture, got everything ready, and had an open house. It was really chaotic, but it was a really good learning experience too, because we were dealing with a local town, and we really learned a lot. And at the time, it was definitely something that was a major hardship, and we were extremely stressed out, and we were really wondering if this business was going to happen. But looking back at it, it was an amazing learning experience. Yeah. We know a lot more than we did before. And, you know,
looking back, it was like, it was absolutely meant to be the location we have now. The other one wouldn't have even worked. Like it just wouldn't have for so many reasons. And we really found the best space. And it was like, again, the universe just aligning, we knew we needed to be on this path, and we just went with it, and we just went forward and just made it work. And, you know, even though we had these moments, again, it wasn't a failure. It wasn't a failure that we didn't get that place. We leveled up every time and learned. So I feel like it was all good growth.
I love it. I'm glad you guys didn't start tearing up. I'm a bit of a crier, and people have been trying to make it.
Glad I'm with you. Thank you. But you know, the financial struggle is real. Yeah. Like, you know, for Melanie and I both, you know, I wish we could be in a position where we could just donate all of our time, but we're not. Yeah. Definitely not. I have 4 mouths to feed and a new mortgage to pay. Yeah. But it's a struggle. You know, just the cost of rent for a space to run a business out of, and you know, all the insurances and you know, just
staff.
And it's for programs like this, it's just, you know, you don't want to, it's not about making money, but you have to charge a minimum amount so you can pay the rent and pay your staff. And, you know, we really do wish that there were, you know, some more financial resources for programs like us. And the real reason I would assume that there aren't very many programs like ours are because not only is there not any money in it, but there's almost not enough money in it to be able to make a go of it, to sustain it. And that's really unfortunate.
And I feel like even as much as it's important for us to like talk about these things from our own financial perspective, but even those of our members and the lack of funding that they get, like we need to advocate for them and say like, these people need supports and services. They cannot go out and get jobs the way you or I would out of high school. They're coming out, their parents have to take care of them. They get a little bit of funding from the government, and the government, I guess, thinks that's enough. And it's like, it's not enough to live, especially if you have aging parents and you can't get them into a home or you don't have proper care. Like, then what? You know, and we have a huge prevalence of more neurodiverse people. Like every year it's increasing. It is not going away. It is becoming more and more prevalent. So we need to advocate for our community and the members in it, you know, that they need support.
Yeah.
We can't give up on them.
Well, I'm very happy you don't. Unfortunately, it seems like throughout our history, the pioneers kind of take the brunt and get very little reward, where it's the generations to come that reap the benefits of all of that seed planting from the pioneers. And it very much seems like you guys are on this frontier. You're the pioneers of this, you and the industry now.
Yeah.
But we talk to many business owners that are similar to you in the same industry, and they're saying the same things. There's just such a lack of certain resources that we need, that our people need. And, you know, at the end of the day, we want your business to be profitable. We want it to make money, even if you don't want it to. We want it to.
Well,
It's not that we don't want it to.
that money to, you know, make things even better, right?
Right. So that money I think people sometimes, I'm not saying you guys at all, but I think sometimes people demonize money because of the problems that it's caused, but it's also caused a lot of good. It's just a tool, and you can use it for what you want. So when a business becomes quite profitable, now they can make it better experience, advocate more, have a louder voice. But I really appreciate you sharing those stories. I don't have the perception to see all the learnings that you guys got from those hardships, but at the very least, going through what you went through, you have our happy place from that, from your story, going back to being a firefighter, from your story, Melanie, from kind of pivoting a few different times in life. Now you have this, which is dedicated to helping other people. Had you not been on that exact journey, maybe you guys wouldn't be here doing this today. So I'm very thankful for it. And I'm very thankful for you sharing that story. And thank you for not going a touch more emotional. One more degree.
Save the tears for the end.
I really appreciate that. What is one thing you wish the listeners knew about our happy place in particular? One thing. Anything come to mind?
Well, I just want our listeners to know that we're here to provide them support. We're here. We exist. The support is here. If they need it, come find us.
Yeah. Simply put, I mean, two very passionate people that are, dedicating their lives to helping other people, and a group of people that maybe are not getting the help required.
Yeah. We really, truly are devoted to providing that quality care and in a holistic approach, to the whole family, not just to the individual member attending our program.
Beautiful. I love it. So my secret question before we get to the end here, it's not a doozy. Maybe it is, but anyways, I like it. So I talk about mentorship a lot on this show because it has been, I don't know, maybe the most impactful thing in my life. I mean, at the end of the day, you're learning from somebody. At some point, you have to. A village creates an individual. I don't believe in self-made men or women. They were brought there to that stage by countless of other individuals. But if they were high-quality individuals that really told you some good life lessons, shared some wisdom to help you avoid pitfalls, they can make your journey that much better. And hopefully you share that to the next and the next and the next. And I think that's how we evolve and elevate as a species. But that's what mentors have done for me. And when I was in my early 20s, certainly not on the path that it was the path that I wanted to be on, but was not in line with living a good life. I was not going in the right direction. Somewhere around 23-ish, I had a number of great mentors in my life, but one individual particularly, she told me that, I encourage you, I think it's very prudent to think about your impact. Because once you think about what you've done, where you want to go, you can really start to map out your life and decide you only get one shot at this. When it's done, it is really done. So think about how you want that existence to be. So she taught me to look at my impact up to that point at 23. Yeah, there was some fun times for sure, but there was definitely some decisions that veered me off a better course for sure. Now that I was aware of that, I could identify, I don't like that. I can see where that's going. Now I can course correct. What is your impact of the day? Because we don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow. I strongly believe that no time is guaranteed to me. And then if you are around for a good amount of time afterwards, what do you want your impact to be going forward? If you're lucky enough to have that final conversation before your last day, not all of us are, but if you are able to have that last conversation with yourself and you look back on your life, would it be a one that is rewarding, is fulfilling, is not full of regret? So we ask our guests on the show, what impact do you want to have, whether it's on the world, your community, your family, your business? I like to look at them. That's all the same thing, but simply what kind of impact do you two want to have?
That's a good question. Well, for myself, I think I want my impact to be that I was just naturally someone that cares. I'm very empathetic. I want people to know that they could come to me and I would be there for them in whatever capacity they need. And also that I can persevere through the challenges of life that, they might be hard, but I'm going to rise above and just keep going. And I would like to just model that for other people, especially, the way I started out in high school. And like I said, I dropped out a couple times. And, now I see it with some of my cousins that are a bit younger that are, on their path of maybe making some not so great choices. I just say, your choices all have consequences and it's all live and learn. But just remember that, it has an impact on you, but you can, like you said, I say course correct a lot. You can always course correct and you can always learn. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. A beacon to let people know what's possible and empathy.
It's like, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make poor choices, but you can learn and just move on from that. And you can always work to be a better person. And I just like to just be a role model of that. Just that, I'm not perfect, but I'm just learning and growing and trying to be my best person every day.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What is perfect anyways? Maybe perfection is that will flawed. I don't know. I haven't decided that one yet, but I don't know what perfect looks like.
Exactly.
How about you, Angie?
Yeah. I would really like to leave a bit of an impact on some of our young ladies in the world. I was leaving an impact, I guess, and I didn't even really realize it just not too long ago. So at our happy place, we welcome students. We welcome high school students. We welcome college students who are interested in getting into this field. I really love to teach. I really love to show people, the way. There's lots of different ways. I'm open to all the ways. But yeah, we just recently had a young lady doing a co-op here. And, I always took the time out to teach her as much as I could. And, we're kind of like a big happy family here. So, on lunch breaks and whatnot, maybe we get into some personal conversations a little bit. And so I was trying to kind of mentor her a little bit in all aspects of life, not just in this field. I wasn't doing it intentionally. But anyways, when she left us, she wrote me this beautiful letter, just kind of saying how I had inspired her. And I was kind of went, what? Really? I did. And so it was just, because sometimes, being a single mom with 4 kids and divorced and running a business with Melanie, I feel like I'm an absolute total hot mess. And just to have someone say, look at me and say, no, you're inspiring, like you're doing the things. I would just really like to, let some of the young women that are coming behind me just know that they can do all the things. You can be a mom, you can be a single mom, you can be married, and you can still have a business. You can follow your dreams. You can do all the things. You don't have to just be one thing.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't have to be just one thing. Yeah. You can be all the things. Yeah.
I love it. Be all the things.
Yeah.
So it's so true. I was talking about this on the show the other day. I mean, I like to consider myself a reader. I love history. I love psychology and philosophy. It helps make me better. But I certainly have never come across a person, present or past, that said, I have maxed out being a human. I've maxed out the mind. I've maxed out the heart, the soul. So as far as I understand currently, like we have this limitless potential, or at least the potential that seems way out of our grasp, which for all those people out there that are struggling, that don't know their worth, that don't think they can handle it, I really hope they hear those words, that at least try it, like give it a all in try to see what you're capable of, move through those uncomfortable challenges. and you never know what can come of it. It's, for me, failure truly is not trying or quitting.
Yeah.
It's not stumbling and keeping going. I think perseverance is the most inspiring thing. Courage through fear, incredibly inspiring for me. It's really just stopping because you don't think you're worth it. That's, for me, what failure is. And you guys are two representations of what you can do.
You got to dig deep into your internal power and just you got to believe in yourself. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's beautiful. Well, how can people find out about you guys? You two are great. What's the best way to connect with you?
So, Facebook, Our Happy Place ADP, or our website, www.ourhappyplaceadp.ca. And you can find, like, we have an email on there, our phone number's on there, but yeah, Facebook or our website is a good place to start.
And just Google us.
Yeah, you can Google us.
Google
But check out our Facebook page. There's so much fun stuff going on in there. You'll love it.
We're here in Newmarket and York region. And
Where are you located exactly in Newmarket?
Yonge and Mulock. Do you know the corner? I don't know the directional corner, but Sushi Ito, Bangkok Thai Plaza.
we're gonna just name drop all the places at our plaza. We're on the northeast corner of Yonge and Mulock in Newmarket.
Beautiful. I love it. You guys have been such a pleasure to speak to. Thank you for almost making me cry. Not quite there yet. And sharing all that you did, and just sharing the depth to your story. It's a rich story. And I think even though it's in regards to your own unique experiences in your business, it resonates with all of us humans. You know, persevering, being in line with who we are, knowing our values, continuing to try, and helping other people are my main takeaways. So thank you for sharing all that with us. I appreciate you two coming on the show.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
It's been a blast, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com, or call 705-413-3775.